with what happened with Coach Lane, you knew, you're like, oh my goodness, here we go. It just
Yeah.
brought everybody. It's almost like someone breaks up to you. You're like, I'll show them. And you start working out. You put on your best clothes. You get rid of stuff, and I mean, you tighten up your game. And that was one of those things. It basically, like you said, Big G, it circled the wagons. It's like, let's go, man. We'll show him. And a lot of people don't know. LSU is our rivalry, not Mississippi State, but it's LSU. LSU is our rivalry. So that's one of those things that it's a little people down there know, but that would be like they going to Michigan. You'd be like, are you kidding me? And so, but anyway, yeah, Coach Pete will do a great job. I think all the guys, and he is Mississippi, so he understands. And that's another thing. I think everybody peeped out what happened with Kelly. There's a whole underlying culture you have to be able to know that is unwritten, and you have to move in circles and everything else. Mm-hmm. Same thing in Ohio. There's an Ohio State culture. It's like, hey, man, you got to know what you're getting into, So
I get it, man. Now, so let me ask you this. Being an Ole Miss alum, is it arrow up or arrow down for Ole Miss right now?
Definitely up. Once again, Big G, if they had a saying literally years ago, if we can just get you on the yard, and of course, social media, I was looking through random things online. You look at top 15, top 10 facilities, top 10 places to eat, top 10 party school, all this stuff, it all lines up. You're like, what are they doing down there? And once again, it's just one of those things. You say Mississippi, and it's like, nah, it's kind of the new South. Your kids will go down, you'll have a good time, and you'll be blown away. But the whole thing is, I just got to get you there. Just behind the curtain, couple years ago, Caleb Williams, they had him at Ole Miss. He liked everything they were talking about. Of course, he went to USC, which no one's mad about that. But the thing was, he was impressed, but he's just like, you say Mississippi. And that's somebody's cup of tea. But to be honest, and we used to always joke, Big G or Sarah, would you let your kid play for Alabama?
Yeah, hell yeah, I would.
Exactly. But do you know, that's where they had Dr. King locked up at, and they were spraying people with water hoses.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my goodness, I never thought about that. You know why? Because Alabama wins. And people skip over the facts. So, and to be honest, if you can go state by state, and it has its historical context. It's just a matter of what you're looking for. So
yeah, got it. Sarah, you got another question you want to ask him?
Not right now, but I mean, like, it might come to me in a little bit later. But.
Arrows up, baby. Arrows up.
Yeah. So now, it's the Level Up podcast, man. I got to get diabolical, man.
Let me hear
I'm going to ask the hard question. Is the SEC the best conference in college football?
Okay. SEC is the deepest conference in college football.
Oh.
The Big Ten is top heavy. They have probably the top 4, but the SEC is the deepest. And it is the best conference. I don't care what anybody says. I know we hadn't won a championship in 3 years, Big G, Sarah, but when you start looking at pros, and just like the draft is coming up, it's all right there, right in front of you. You're going to see the SEC will have at least a minimum of 40 more players picked for NFL players. Ole Miss alone last year, we had 16 guys get drafted. That's Ole Miss. That's not Alabama. That's not Georgia. That's not Texas. That's not. Do I need to keep going?
Yeah.
But the Big Ten, I tell you what, the Big Ten is lights out. That top 4, I have nothing to say because what Indiana pulled off, I don't know what just happened. It was like, what just happened? I mean, when they beat Ohio State, I was like, oh my goodness, they're really there, and you knew they were going to win the championship. I mean, just to be honest, after they drilled Alabama like that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
Yolanda talking mess. She said, "Yeah, the SEC is the best. Go Gators." And my boy Robert said Big Ten is the best of all time. Listen, I don't know. I'm stirring the pot. Kev played in the SEC, big time football at Ole Miss University. Y'all know how I feel about Buckeyes. I feel some kind of way. So I'm like, but so let me ask it this way. And Sarah, after I ask Kev, I want you to chime into this. In my opinion, the gap between the SEC and the Big Ten has been the coaching from coach like the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th team down. Where the Big Ten for years didn't have great coaching past the first 3 or 4 schools. I think what's happened over the last few years is that the Big Ten has now hired good coaches at UCLA, USC, Oregon, Penn State. Some of the middle pack schools that even over in Nebraska, Nebraska got a great coach. So I think that's where maybe they, to me, in my mind, bro, I'm thinking they done caught up concerning the coaching.
Well, also, I don't know. I personally, I think that the Big Ten has always had the money, and I agree. What you just said is an excellent point. They kind of felt they were above that. Like, we're not going to spend that much for football. And it's like, oh, you don't have to, but I know somebody that will. Same thing with these NILs and everything else. It's like, you don't have to spend it, but I know somebody that will. And you're right. For years, Big Ten felt they were always above that. And of course, some programs emphasize that, but a lot of as you said, like, no, we're not. It's like, okay, you don't have to. And you get what you get. And of course, now also those envelopes are not under the table anymore. So
they're not.
Yeah.
It is a known fact, Big G and Sarah, that there was only 2 people that outspent everybody, and it was Alabama and LSU.
Facts.
Now, and nobody could tell you, or it never was tied to the coaches, but I need a linebacker. They got a linebacker. So, and now everybody can, and it's on the table. So that also brings the pack to you. Versus the old days when it was like you need to just be happy to be on scholarship. So
yeah. Well, you know what Ed Ogeron, the LSU coach, said. He said back in the day,
he's the one that's he pretty much admitted to it.
Quote it, Sarah. Tell him what he said. He came to the back door with what? Paper bags?
Yeah.
Now they come to the front door with briefcases.
It's like, now I can come in through the front door.
Yeah. Well, all I have to say is I'm from Ohio, and so let me guess. I was just down in Mississippi, and just magically, like, I just fell in. It was some other things that you're going to be taken care of, as they like to say. So, and the thing is, Big G, everybody has a different deal. I can't worry about your deal, my deal, but everybody's taken care of. So,
yeah. So let me ask you this, man. I mean, because you have. So I'm gonna let you explain how your children are currently in collegiate rankings or headed to collegiate rankings, and explain what that is. For our listeners and our viewers. Okay.
Well, my daughter actually, she graduated this past December. So everything, she is Penn State graduate, but originally at the current time we were living in Central PA. She went to a Catholic school in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, which is basically 10 minutes from Harrisburg. We lived out that way, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And she was an all-state player. She attended Jacksonville University, but she was all-state. And what people don't understand is scholarships, high school, it's all on a just imaginary pie chart. When it comes down to it, AAU is basically 70% of it. And everything else. Now you have to put your kid in position, different camps, different things, and everything else. But she was an incredible player, and well, she's not undersized, but she was like 5'9", 5'10", post/wing, and she ended up going to Jacksonville. Her thing was she got recruited by all these Northeastern schools on this region, but she wanted to go to school down south because, once again, she was born in Memphis and everything else. But long story short, she ended up getting a scholarship to to Jacksonville University. And then she transferred to Arkansas Pine Bluff. And then she ended up wrapping up in one of the Penn State schools up here. So, and she ended up being academic All-American and everything else. So, but I tell everybody the biggest thing is it is a really grind. Basketball is one of the toughest sports ever, just simply because of the numbers. And then also you have to have the talent. And then it comes down to specs. You got to have the specs also. And then you have to position yourself, And a lot of times people, there's a whole lower level where they're taking your money and everything, but no coaches are coming there. And it's really detailed. I would talk all day about that, but anyway, she did really well. But also, to be honest, you're going to have to spend money. And I told someone, me and my wife, one day we totaled it up and easily could have been over 150 to 200,000 plus. That's a modest between the 8th grade to senior year. And I'm talking about we went everywhere, all over the country and everything else. To be honest, she went down to Ole Miss Elite Camp. You get invited. She played so well, they put her on their list. And Coach Yo, they're like, okay, what's your deal? How come you only have 3 scholarship offers? And she explained, I kind of want to go down south, And she hooked us up with Jacksonville. She went over there. She played for them. Boom, just like that. So
yeah.
And so now my son, totally different situation because everyone knows basketball with girls and the boys are entirely different. With girls, there's not quite the numbers, and then your talent. Boys, there's so many layers to it. But he's very talented, real raw. Of course, he's ideally a rush in. He's 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan.
Yeah.
Extremely. I'm like, he wants no parts of football. We actually played the little league and everything else in this little town of Carlisle. We won the Pee Wee football championships. I'm coaching the D line. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And he's incredible, but he wants no part of it. Which football is a very, very vicious game. I mean, and if you don't want to be out there, that's not the place to be. But he went to prep school. He played at the school called Abington, which they have a really good basketball culture. We're probably 10 minutes outside of Philly, but like the guy that led college basketball is their famous alumni. Is scoring 2 seasons ago at Villanova. He's their what's his name? Eric Dixon. But anyway, that's where he went to high school at, and he played pretty good. They got a new coach his senior year, so things didn't go quite the way we wanted to. But he went to a prep school. He tears his ACL about game 24. So so now he's currently going to Maricosta Community College out here in Oceanside, California. So he redshirted this year, that knee as well, and he is getting ready to do his thing now. And of course, he still has 5 years eligibility left.
That's facts.
Which is the most. It's mind-boggling. And he's 19, so he'll be one of these older guys you're talking about. And I model him after Greg Simpson's son. I don't know if you're familiar with him. And I told him Greg Simpson's son has the most incredible journey ever. And I explained to him, I was like, look what you can do. Or, it's just so many examples. All these guys from our hometown, basketball wise. So, I'm excited for him because he's still playing. And as you know, if you're playing on any level, Sarah, at this time, anytime you can keep playing is a great thing, because only 6% of kids continue.
Facts.
So
the more people can see you, the better off it is.
Exactly. So
absolutely. So Kev, I'm glad a couple of points you brought up. One thing, right? When we played, right, you went to JUCO, you lost 2 years.
Yes.
Okay. Which means that you only had really 2, possibly 3 at your next destination. D1, D1 AA, whatever it was, that your next destination, you had 2, possibly 3 years, right? And then on top of that, now not only can they do that, they can almost stash players at the lower level, right?
Yes.
And do you think that is a major competitive advantage for young people now versus like how when we went to school and we gave them 2 years of eligibility?
Oh, it is. Now it's good and bad because first of all, you have an opportunity. There's more opportunities. It's like, okay, you're not like literally, you have options, but on the other sense, it's saturated. There's so many guys out there. I know you probably talked about it on one of your shows about the number of people left in the transfer portal right now.
Yes,
and those are the things too, where like when you and I were in junior college, you knew I'm here, and no matter what, this has to work. This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
And you don't, and that changes your whole focus and everything else. But on the other hand, it does give them so many options. And you're right. People do, the coaches do stash you because, as you spoke earlier, my roommate, Ty J. Armstrong, there was another guy out there when we were in Iowa. You probably don't remember. He was an all-pro DB named Dale Carter.
Oh, I remember Dale. Went to Tennessee. Yeah.
Was out there. He was a first-round draft pick. He went to Tennessee. You know, it was other people at Northeast Oklahoma. All of it, just like you said, they could hide you, but now it's just a double-edged sword. Depends on what's going on. But the players do have leverage though, because if you're uncomfortable and you don't like it, you can leave, and that, man, that changes everything. So
yeah, absolutely.
I talked to some of my friends, and they were like, you know, you have to coach with kid gloves on now, because if you bother some of these guys, they're out of there. And now you're like, wow, you know, I messed that up. So
yeah, I'm glad. And see, that's something that me and Sarah and Theresa have been pointing out on the Level Up College Football podcast. We pointed it out more and more and more that now the collegiate level is set up for young people to win, especially those young men and women that play college basketball and college football. There's not that huge pressure on you to have to like develop right away. Yeah. And so now there's a competitive advantage. Yeah. You know, Sarah, go ahead, Sarah. What were you going to say?
I just like, you have more time now, and then you can, you know, you like just pretty much what Trindad did. Like, he did his Ferris State time and he won, and then comes in and gets into a bigger program. And then I think if he has another great season, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting drafted. I know that I was surprised. I think a lot of people thought he could actually get drafted in this last draft because there weren't a lot of options. But no, I think that it's and it gives the kids that aren't going to go pro, it gives them time to make money. It gives them time to build relationships and so many different things. I think that, you know, we always look at the bad because the bad is really like, it's major, but there's a lot of good to it too.
Yeah. And I go ahead, Kev, go ahead.
Now the flip side of that, though, which no one will tell you, is those scholarships are 1 year renewable. And
correct.
Now, when you're D1, and like I said, I'm not sure exactly with the other levels, but you have your meeting and they'll talk to you. This is where we are, and of course, no one will ever tell you, Coach and them advise me to transfer or get into the portal, because but now that is the negative part of it. But yeah, it is a great part because you can go, but I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. You got to find that sweet spot right in the middle, because if not, you go too far either way. It can be damaged. So
absolutely. Austin Art, man, one of our followers. Thanks, Austin Art. He said, I kind of thought Chabliss would be going to the draft, but it's a pretty great that the NCAA will finally be letting him go for another year. They didn't do it. They didn't. Yeah, they was kicking and screaming, Austin Art. Yeah. Matter of fact, I got eyes on the spot. I heard that the lawyers for the NC2A walked out the courtroom. They was mad as hell.
Yeah, well, it was a rigged deck. It was a rigged deck over there. They were only about 45 minutes from Ole Miss. So the judge was an Ole Miss alum. So yeah, I think you would have been mad too. But it is. You got to be happy for the young man. And to be honest, Sarah and Big G, those guys are making pro money. I mean, somebody put the numbers up one day, and it was like couple of those guys are making more than Shador and all of this type of stuff. You're like, yes, get that money without that type of pressure. You know what I mean? The NFL pressure. So
yeah. All right. So I got to ask you, like, because you talked about it a little bit about the rivalry, right? And people don't people think that Michigan and Michigan State are rivals. No. Michigan and Michigan State treat each other like little brother, little sister. That's how I think Ole Miss and Mississippi State treat each other.
Exactly. Flagship, baby.
But the rival is LSU and Ole Miss, right? Now, and I saw that Princely transferred over there to LSU. I saw that, and I was like, uh-oh. So is how bad of a blood is it going to be now that Kiffin is at the other spot?
I tell you what, I wish I had a couple tickets to sell to that game because I could get premium price. He comes to Oxford. I think it's his third or fourth game of the season, so it is going to be lights out because literally, and that we all talked about it, and you knew, of course, and LSU is LSU, which to be honest, they're bringing you, Death Valley. They have all the resources, and they really remind you of Ohio because every kid in Louisiana wants to be a Tiger, unless otherwise, then they go other places. But every kid wants to be a Tiger, just like we all want to be Buckeyes, But it's going to be madness. Like I said, I can't even imagine it. And then another couple weeks later, we played Missouri too. I think the following game, which the quarterback that lost Simmons, who lost his position, he's going to be coming back to Oxford too. So that'll be very interesting to see what happens with that also. But yeah, LSU, that I don't know. It's one of the strangest things ever when you go down there, just as somebody being from Ohio. And when I first, and like you say, you just assume Mississippi State, which it is a big rivalry, but no, LSU, and they made that really that was made clear quickly when I got down there. So
yeah, facts. Victoria says he deserves it, but to win, they went to the local courts, and that's how to beat the NCAA. Yeah. Arbitrate with the local courts. That's facts.
Yeah,
that's facts.
Like I say, the court. I guess it was in, Crawford County. Long story short, it was literally 45 minutes 45 minutes from Ole Miss. And like I said, I'm not joking. The judge was an Ole Miss alum. So yeah. He was going to make autographs, and Chabliss was signing autographs and everything else after the court hearing. So,
he was going to get it popping. Tim Lyon said he hoped that Lane Kiffin step on a Lego. I think a lot of us feel like that, Tim.
Well, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, get ready. That guy, he's going to bring that thing home down there, man. It's Sean, Big G, Sarah, he's going to win one down there. And we can get mad all you want to, but that guy is lights out, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what he does and everything else. I told someone, I was like, no, you guys have no idea. Get ready. As much as it'll irritate me, but yeah, he's really that good a coach. I mean, like, seriously, he's special. But now he that ego is kind of out of control. But when it comes to those X's and O's and everything else, and I mean, what he did with us, and like I just stated earlier, we literally had this was supposed to be a rebuilding year, and no lie, 16 guys got, and I'm not talking about free agent. No, I mean draft picks. Like you go look, and you're like, oh my goodness, Ole Miss, yes, they had that thing rolling. So yeah, and of course now I think Coach Pete can keep it going, but unfortunately Lane may pull something off down there because LSU it's pretty awesome. It's an awesome place, and they spending that money. Money talks. Yeah. You know it.
Well, hell, they got, I think, 39 players out of the transfer portal alone, and then they had like a top 3 recruiting class. Now look, Victoria's talking yak though. He said that they're gonna have to beat them Longhorns first.
I was just about to say.
Now
I'm just saying.
They're good, but we actually played them, and that's what I was saying. We played them this year too. You never know in the SEC. I'm like, so I'm going to walk. I'm going to tread lightly here because I don't want to get any karma on us. But the thing about Texas is I don't know. I think they're good, but once again, the SEC is so deep, it just sneaks up on you, and that's what's becoming, and that's when I talk about the league being, it's that week 7 when you're like kind of beat up and you're like, well, we're going to play Vanderbilt. And you're like, man, Vanderbilt got some smoke for you. You know what I mean? And then, like I say, you play against a Missouri. You're like, oh my goodness. Or even somebody like Florida who's down, but if you go in there, man, you go to the swamp, they will pound you. It's so we'll see.
That's what happened last year to the Longhorns. They thought they was gonna make it. And boy, they went to the swamp and got beat down.
Exactly. And that's the SEC. And unfortunately, I think we were back on the Big Ten. That's what happens to the Big Ten. Ohio State, technically, it's only 2 or 3 teams that can physically line up and even get with them. So then, you know what I mean? By the time you're not really battle tested because you're just better than everybody. It's my opinion, Big G.
Yeah, I ain't tripping.
Yeah, it's just you're just better than everybody. And then finally, when the smoke comes, it's like which the year before they were able to regroup in the postseason and like, okay, all right, let's go. But my opinion is it's only like about 12 teams in the country that technically are like on that. They're just different, Yeah.
And SEC probably got about 6 or 7 of them.
Yes, and the Big Ten got about 4, and then, like I say, you can look like Miami. They're getting back to where they were, and then about 2 in the ACC. And then it might be this other team, Big 12. I'm like, So
Notre Dame on the way too, for sure.
Yeah, and Notre Dame too. To me, they're dangerous. But same thing with them. They just don't play anybody, and when they do get against somebody, it can go either way. They're just better than everybody they play. So
Hey, Austin Art had a question for you. He said, "Do you think that Golden has what it takes as a coach to bring the team a championship next year?"
I do, but it would definitely. He does. Well, he does, but it's going to take you're going to have to win it. Nobody's going to give it to you. If that makes any sense. Like I just told you, we played Georgia, we played Texas, we played Missouri. You're like, oh, Missouri. It's like, no, I don't know if you ever tune in, but watch one of those games. You're like, whoa, Missouri is kind of tough. And then, of course, Georgia or somebody will beat them. And then LSU, that game, that'll be significant. That's why it was so important we beat them early. And then you just get that momentum. And then you just never know. The SEC is so – we played Vanderbilt this year. You don't know what they're going to be like. That coach has something special going. He's a tremendous coach. So you just never know. But to answer the question, yes. But it's going to take a lot of things to go in favor, meaning other teams have to lose too,
Yeah, facts. Sarah, you got a question for Kev?
I'm like, wait, what? I'm on the spot.
I'm gonna make sure. Now listen, you know how we do, and you know how to do it. You know what to say and how to ask. So do you got? If you don't, I get it.
I was still on something else that I wanted to talk about. And
please go.
We'll bring it up. Go ahead.
It was earlier when we were talking about with the NCAA and the courts and everything like that. And I just find it ironic and it's funny because all they keep saying is how they need, government to be involved and to fix them and to do all this different stuff. But it's only at a certain level. And then all of a sudden now they're realizing that they kind of putting their foot in their mouth because now you're allowing the legal system to run your association, which is why these kids are getting, come on, everyone knew that. I knew that if he was going to get to the Mississippi court, he was going to win. And I thought that was great. Because you know what? If you're going to give them the opportunity to go and do that, then go right ahead, because I just have so many different things about the NCAA that it's just. Well, that's a good question. What are your feelings about the NCAA? Well,
it's just kind of hypocritical, because like you said, everybody else, all these other kids, and of course, it's just so much you kind of, I can't pinpoint exactly, but yeah, it's like, oh, so you don't want him to come back for a 6-year. Why is that? Or, why that particular guy in particular? So, it's like, stop it. It's so phony. But then I just saw something where kid that played at LSU, quarterback, he's looking for his 7th school in 7 years, or it's something. You know who I'm talking about? He played at a school in Texas this past year, but yeah,
he played UTEP, University of Texas El Paso. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just so much. But truthfully, there something is coming down the pipeline, because it's just too much money being made, and it is. And they're making it up as they go. So. But then football is undefeated. It's just so much money, and the betting, the TV. It is just, it's a runaway train that everybody just can't get enough of. And almost the NCAA is just kind of like, you're outdated institution. It's almost like, what are they there for even?
Exactly. Hey, so I got one last question for you, man. One last question. Do you think that 12 teams is enough for the playoff? Do you think that they actually should move to 6? Because they changed the format. Right now, you're not going to get those Tulanes and those diabolicals in it, and there ain't going to be no more of them. It's going to be the real teams. So do you think that 12 is enough? Or do you really think, and do you think they should maybe expand to 16? And do you think that the first 2 rounds of the playoffs should be at home?
I'm literally, I'm under the assumption of, I think it needs to be 16. Totally, and they need to do the first 2 at home, or even some of these smaller bowl game sites. But I do like the idea of those games on campus. I would say 16, but I don't think someone needs to
Yeah, all right. He's all right. This is fun.
The conference champ needs to have that long bye, though, because football is all about momentum and actually playing. You know what I mean? Get your momentum, and you sitting out. That actually backfires with a lot of these guys, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But it needs to be 16 teams, and this is something that and you guys tell me if I'm nuts, but I think in the next 5 to 8 years, it's going to go to a power conference, football only. It'll be like 28 teams, because people just can't keep up. When you talk these money, the NILs, and I'm talking about probably 6 teams from the Big Ten, but like Rutgers, Northwestern, they're just not Maryland. They're not going to spend that money. They don't have the NIL money to compete, and even some of the SEC teams, and definitely not the Big 12 teams. Do you get where I'm going? And it'll just be for football only, because when you break it down, like you got Oregon coming over here to play Ohio State. That's the Cleveland Browns playing Seattle. You know what I mean? USC, that's the Chargers, or USC is the Rams, or UCLA, the Chargers coming over here to play Rutgers, which is the Jets. It's like something has to give, but they definitely need to expand to 16. But you know what happens? That affects the conference championships, and the conferences are not letting that happen because the TV rights and everything. So.
Right.
And that championship don't need. Just trying to get that player.
Yeah, that was the proposal from the
Nobody
Big Ten.
cares.
Yeah, the Big Ten proposed.
Can you guys hear me? Oh my goodness! Hold on a second. Can you hear me?
Good? Yeah, absolutely. The Big Ten proposed that we get rid of conference championship games and just make a 2014 playoff. That's what the Big Ten team said. So Sarah, your thoughts? Do you think that that's what they should do as well?
Well, I mean, I think yes and no, because I don't really agree with this whole, if you're a conference champion in the Power Fours, that you automatically, because Duke definitely did not deserve to be in those playoffs. Now, I'm not saying that Tulane and my God, why my brain is not working, but like, I'm not saying that they also did, but like, that's where like you're almost like, okay, well, this person's upset this year, so we have to make you feel happy this year, so we're going to just tweak it just enough to make it so that everyone gets along for one more year, and then something's going to happen that then's going to make everyone upset and everything like that. I kind of like the idea of a little bit bigger. It's like, oh, it can never go to like 60 plus teams like March Madness, but if you had more of like a bracket type of thing, first of all, you'd have games every single weekend. You wouldn't have that long time between, because I think you would probably only end up with like an actual real 1 week bye, which is something that, I mean, I think that it should be considered an incentive.
Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah, I just it's every single, it's just like, you can't have Peter to pay Paul for 1 year, and you just have too many hands in it. And I think that, they're using kid gloves sometimes to just tell some of these, like the ACC or these smaller conferences, like, hey, you guys, you've got a couple teams, and like Clemson and Florida State and Miami, like it would make more sense if we started to put in that type of conference. I mean, they're building into the mini NFL.
Yeah, but or is it? That's my opinion. Do you guys, Big G, Sarah, what do you think, Big G?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think that they should just make it the top 35 or 40 teams in the country, make it all one conference. You play 11 regular season games, kill the conference championship, and let's get it on.
Yeah,
let's get it on. Yep. Let's get half of these teams. If you got 44 or 45 teams that are the top teams, half of them get in, and let's get it on.
Yep.
That's what I think.
It's just too much money that, like I say, some programs just can't. And I mean, it's a great story and everything else, but and that's one of the things. Like someone with us, they didn't realize, like, Ole Miss, and it's like behind the scenes, we have like one of the model NIL programs, and a lot of people like, oh, and like one of the top people like, oh man, I didn't realize that exactly. But some of these other places, they don't. I think you guys got our old Ohio State has the old Ole Miss. What is it? The guy Bort? He used to be down at Ole Miss. But all of these type of things that behind the closed doors, but it's so much money, and some people just refuse to do it. And you see, like Indiana, like, oh, where did they come from? Come to find out, Mark Cuban and another guy, like millions.
Yeah, but Cuban just got in this year. Like
but exactly. But I guess somebody else had put a lot of money into it. So,
and their president was from Georgia, and she wanted to come up there, and she wanted to build that football program, and she did it, and she made sure it was thing. And that, I mean, you're gonna get those people. You got to get the people that have been successful in these
exactly
bigger schools, and putting them in these spots where they can build that. And alumni matter. Like, it matters on who your alumni is. Like I said, like, look at what Texas Tech has. Look at who they have. Look at what Indiana has. Like, look at what Michigan. These places are successful because they've made an Ole Miss. I mean, you guys have some really great alumni, and it doesn't always have to just deal with football. You can just be a really, like, businessman, entertainment, anything like that. And if you build your school up in those things, you're going to continuously build your NIL. And they're going to want to see their football teams that they've been rooting for the past 20, 25, 40, 50 years, finally make it over, because now they're seeing that. But if you don't have that, ground, it's going to be hard to build. And I just think some of these schools just don't realize that they really have to, like, put the work in, and it takes time, and it takes your education and everything.
Resources, resources.
You have to get resources.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
12, like you said, but 16, I'm all for that. And like you say, now use those championship games, but like you say, they would have to, I don't know, make them bowl games, or like you say, the championship games would have to be out, or even those sites or whatever you're doing, make those playoff games.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I really am liking and digging the fact that it's expanding. Like you said, a lot of folks, and I'm wonderful and thankful to have you on the show today, because you exposed a lot of our listeners to what Ole Miss football is. Let me be clear. I've known what Ole Miss football is for a while. I hate on the SEC, but it is what it is. Because I know what it is. It's the real deal down there. But when I see a team like Ole Miss, and some people think they're a Cinderella story, and all actuality, they're not. Ole Miss is a program that's on the verge of breaking through the glass ceiling of those top 15 programs, and they're there every year based on recruiting and everything else. So I'm glad that Kev joined us to give us a perspective about Trindad Chabliss and all the different things that's going on down there, right? So so we're going to close out the show. Kev, I just wanted to give you a shout out and thank you for showing up, man.
Hey, no problem. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Absolutely. You got anything you want anybody to know outside of just go Rebels?
Oh, nothing, man. Hey, I don't know. Like I said, we love Lima, Ohio, man. I'm proud of you. Hey, keep this up. This is awesome, man. Like I say, I peek in occasionally, check out. I love it. I'm a big Browns fan. I see your Steelers stuff. That tickles me.
Oh, you poor thing.
And oh gosh. Oh yeah. Oh, one of these days. That's all I'm gonna say is one of these days. But
not on my watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not on my watch. No. Not on my watch. It ain't happening.
Like you say, it's incredible though, man. That, like you said, it's just something that we love. You played as a kid, junior high. You went to West, I went to South, and everything else. And just think, this game is giving back years from now. We can't get out there and do anything else, but now you get to talk about it and everything else. And it's just awesome, man. I share with my kids. I was like, you just never know where this will take you. Who you'll meet. People all over this country. And recently, one of my teammates from Waldorf, I was in Canada, in Montreal, and I saw him, and it's just like, wow, here I am in Montreal, meeting a game that I love, and everything else. So, hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. Nice meeting you, Sarah. Thanks, Big G.
Thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yolanda said the Browns got a good one in Todd Monken. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they screwed it up with Jim Schwartz. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I know. We got Myles Garrett though. Oh,
he's a killer. He's a
big
killer.
Dog. Big dog.
A lot of respect.
I love him.
All right, so Sarah, your final thoughts as we end up the podcast, the Level Up show this week.
No, thank you so much, Kevin. It was really just interesting to talk to you. I really love hearing all that stuff. But I can't wait I'm really looking for the off season. Like, I'm excited about the draft. I mean, it's going to be in Pittsburgh, so that's where my brain is at.
Oh,
I was down in the city the other day, and I mean, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to really dive deep into that and really see who's going to be there, who's going to be the show. And it's I love the NFL just as much as I love college, so I love the drama and the storylines and everything like that.
So should the Steelers take the quarterback from Alabama?
Absolutely not.
I'm not feeling that.
Wide receiver one. Wide receiver one.
Hell no.
Yes.
Boy, you done made my temperature go up, man. That fast.
I had to ask that one.
No.
Okay.
No. But anyway, that's another show. So now listen. I thank all for you guys for rocking with us, man. Make sure, like we said, you like and subscribe, and share the podcast across all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. You can find us on all those channels. You can also find us on the audio side. So if you got Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, you can find the Level Up College Football Podcast on the KnoItallz channel all week. Now, got a special announcement for y'all. Because it's the off season, unless it's going to be a breaking news thing, the Level Up College Football Podcast is moving its time date because we got a new show, Steelers content, coming to you at 6:00 p.m. with your boy Big G, and I'm going to have guests like Kev and guests like Sarah on. It's called Minutes to Yens. It will start next Monday, next Monday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So all y'all that rock with us for the Steelers content, make sure you come out next week for the inaugural Minutes to Yens podcast show on this channel for the KnoItallz podcast. When I'm telling you it's going to be diabolical, and I'm just telling you, I got Steeler people across the board coming on the show with me. So you're going to see people from different channels, different perspectives that's going to talk football about the Steelers. And every now and then I'll get one of them diabolical Cleveland Brown guests or somebody like that to come on and talk crazy about what's going on with football. But the new show starting next week, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Minutes to Yens, your boy Big G will host. And like I said, you'll see some of the same familiar people, but you're going to see people that you've never seen before on the KnoItallz Podcast Network. As for me, first of all, my boy Kevin Ingram, thank you again for coming up and showing out on the podcast.
Thank you.
As for my girl Sarah C and your boy Big G, we will see all of y'all next week on the Minutes to Yens podcast behind the scenes. And like I said, LeVeL-Up will be back. It's just going to move to a different time. We thank all y'all for rocking with us. Have a great and outstanding week. Peace.
Peace. Take it easy.